your boy Tootsie the Fan back with another episode of Atas Across Time and Space, boy. Yeah, we in there. We in there with episode. Whoa, Niku Shine. All right, that's 29. Yeah, Niku, the meat. Now we're getting to the meat of the chapter. Sapiens, now, man. But before we even get into that, let's start off with some introductions. Got my co-host right here that doesn't need any introduction, but I always allow him to introduce himself. Oh my goodness, go ahead.
You already know who it is. It's your boy Ace of Cross Culture, Cross X Culture, if you want to spell it out, all one word. It's crazy because I was doing some downloading of the podcast, and it looks like I got about 40 videos up, and my channel comes up a little sooner in that search. So I just want to throw a shout out. Thanks to everybody over here on TPC channel, because I definitely couldn't have done it without you. Thanks for the following. Thanks for the support. And thanks for listening in.
Yeah. No. I mean, I need to check my my stats, but it's all just about output, get it out there. Nah, man.
Yeah.
Let the people have what they're looking for. And now that the new format, we're out here on Sundays, 30 minutes, just raw, direct, straight to the point. I really like this format. It's nice, and I'm getting good feedback too.
Okay.
What's the feedback looking like?
I mean, over on my channel,
yeah,
crickets. Like nobody's leaving. Nobody's leaving real comments. We getting some in the live chat. We're getting a little feedback in the live chat. People were saying like, "Oh, it's great to see you guys back at it." But because of this whole time change, I know that a lot of people over here, some faithful listeners haven't been able to tune in because they got different stuff going on the weekend. And that's cool. By all means, however you're digesting this podcast, we appreciate it.
Yeah. Good piece whenever you can. Whenever you can make it to the table, we'll be there. All right. Now, that being said, we are almost at the end of Sapiens, sir. We're almost there. And next week is the big 30. I mean, you get to enjoy all the,
that's what I was saying before. Stuff. Like, man. Yes.
But I mean, we're almost there. We are literally almost there. They got this chapter, your chapter, and I think it's like a wrap up after that.
Man, I'm not even looking at it. Honestly, I try not to read ahead. I'm trying to stick to whatever chapter it is.
I check the table of contents. I gotta make sure I'm on the right chapter when I go back and no, because I listen to it. I use Scribe. In fact, Scribe needs to, like give us
sponsor
some sponsorship now, man. I'm always Scribe. And matter of fact, if you know what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use a link. I put a link in the description. If you click that link, you get a free month. All right, that's true.
Okay,
it's true.
Okay.
So you click that link, you get a free month. I get a free month. Can't beat that. What is Scribe? All right, this is a commercial. It might as well be. Let's just drop that in there. Scribe is it's a service like Amazon's Audible or something like that.
Audible, yeah.
But Audible, you pay like $15 a month, and you get one book a month. Whereas Scribe, you pay like $10 a month, and you get them all. You get them all. That's dumb.
You pay. It's like paying for a library card. You pay for that library card. That's it. That's that one-time fee. Boom. But for Scribe, it's just monthly. Yeah.
Bro, you got access to everything. I'm gonna make sure I put a link.
I'm gonna start listening to this other book too. By Reggie Fils-Aimé, who used to be the lead for CEO of Nintendo America.
A black man.
So I mean, he's Haitian. He's America.
He's black. All right.
He's black. Yeah. Haitian though. Like from Hispaniola.
Haitian.
From Haiti.
Yeah.
So I've heard some of his story, and I'm kind of looking forward to listening to that book because
his book is on Scribe too.
His book is on Scribe. Yeah,
bruh. Yeah. So this is the thing.
I definitely have it bookmarked. I'm just like, boom, I want to get that.
That's the thing, because I mean, I've recommended the books up to now. So the Big 30, if you want to make the recommendation and we go in, that's okay too.
No, but see, we can't. The only reason why we can't do that, and I've been thinking like, okay, maybe I need to make a recommendation, throw some flavor in there. But
All ears.
the issue is that Sapiens has a part 2.
It does.
So
and that's the one you
I don't want
read,
to. Yeah, I don't want to break that because that's gonna get into kind of what my channel's about. So I really want to reach into there. So
That's
I
true.
mean, I've been kicking some ideas around. Maybe we try something a little different. I'll recommend a book and we can read through it.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
this
I mean,
book, Reggie's book is only like half as long as Sapiens, so we probably burn through it a little faster.
Okay. I mean, it's something to think about. Something to think about just between, because people ask me like, what's your channel about? What do you guys talk about? Is it like a book club? In a way, it is similar to a book club. Like you read and then talk about it. Like that's what makes sense. But then, I let them know that it's like 10 minutes of freestyle at the end. So we're talking about the issues that are important to us, This is the platform. Also, you spend the first 5 minutes kind of, saying what's going on in life. And so it's evolving. The channel is evolving. I'm not like set in stone. But his word is set in stone. And I like this timing. Wow. Sorry, right after church. It feels good. All right. Because you're just sitting there. You're sitting there for an hour and a half. You're studying, you're just deep in the word, right? All right, who is God? Who is Jesus? Amen. And then after that, it's just like, all right, let's let it out. I don't know what kind of church is like there. So it depends on the type of church that you go to. Some churches like it's really like passive. Others is just like, amen, like you up on your feet, and fanning it down.
Oh God! Oh yeah.
What's it like down there in Mexico?
In Mexico, I don't go to church in Mexico.
You don't even know.
You're all right. Games. No, that's okay. Like, I haven't been to church in Mexico forever, but I am a 7-day Adventist. So traditionally, we're like very solemn, and yes, we're singing from the hymnal this week, and these are the songs. But there's a few churches that kind of go against the grain in that regard, to where I play drums for my church. Like growing up, I never would have imagined playing drums in an Adventist church. I played like some type of percussion a couple times, but no, this is a full electronic drum set. So it is a little crazy. Yeah, man. So it's not super passive, but it's not like backflipping down the aisles, not however you praise is however you praise, but I'm just trying to give like a little bit of a metric.
David spun, with
his dancing his undies, man.
Dancing in his undies, right? No, I mean it's birthday, not in his birthday suit, but
not big birthday. Nah.
Yeah.
Keep it PG.
I'm just saying. So yeah, I mean, however you decide to get down, like I know, like after church, that's when I'm ready to let it out. All right. It could be before, it was after prayer group. I had a little prayer group, and then it's like after that, it's boom. It's, whoo. Oh man. Yeah, like I'm live at that point. So that's this feels good. This is the right time, it's the right place. Let's get into it. Today we are talking about the wheels of industry. The wheels of industry.
Industry. Oh right.
With this chapter, just to give it a brief summary, what it's saying, in its core message is that there's this idea out here that resources will, are limited. All right. And, we have to be careful with our resources. And, if we don't, then it's going to be like catastrophic and, war is going to come, blah, blah, or people are going to be starving. But it kind of spits in the face of that, and saying that technology has been used over the years to actually, expand the resources that are available to support our industries. New industries open up. We never reached that point where, all right, we just run through all the resources. There's nothing left. So we have to, go back to like, not cannibalism, but, just kind of like barbaric society. Um, that's basically the idea under it, and then it tells you about these different places in history where that has happened. The reason why they call it the wheels of industry is because that wheel keeps on turning. All right, the wheels in the sky keeps on turning. You know.
You guys busting out the songs out here, man.
The wheels in the sky keep on turning. Oh man, that's such a good song. That's 80s. That's 80s like soft rock, man.
Oh,
you gotta get on that. You gotta get on that now. All right. But the point is that these things continue. All right. It's like technology, people will find a way. Like we shouldn't come from this place of lose win. Like there's going to be a win-win. Something else is going to come up, and the invisible hand of economy is going to be at play. That's what he's saying. The connection that I saw right there, and I had to mention this because the wheels that was spinning to get me back home on my bike was actually talking about. It connected me back to the wheel that I heard in church, discussing why we need to know who Jesus is.
Okay.
Because it helps you. And the first reason that the pastor said was to, in order to continue. All right. When you're weary, all right, and you feel like like you're not gonna make it. If you know who Jesus is, that's gonna give you that power to keep on going. All right.
Hope.
Even if you can't see the resources, like I don't see a way. All right. And that's the connection back to this chapter. All right. When you don't see a way, there actually is a way. All right. And it's
make a way out of no way. Come on, somebody.
Yeah. You're gonna make a way out of no way. All right. Like I saw the connection there. But how did this chapter hit you?
Oh man, this chapter was speaking to me. It was speaking to me because it was talking about industry, yes. And one of the things that came up was, of course, resources. And what I started thinking about was how we thought that gasoline was the best thing, right? So now everything was running on gasoline, and then we start thinking about solar power. Everybody has solar panels, and then we start thinking about hydrogen fuel cells. So we're starting to put those in more and more cars.
Right.
But what we didn't talk about is the fact that World Wars I and II, there had to be can drives, not for food, but for the aluminum. Because they needed tin cans in order to melt down to make munitions. So no, we haven't come to a point, like you said, we haven't come to like a standstill. Like there is no more aluminum. We cannot make jet planes anymore, or there's no more gasoline. Your car cannot run anymore. But it has come very close. And because we see because we see that these resources are indeed limited to a sense. Like there can only be so many cars made with the amount of resources. So then you're like, okay, well, we're gonna make these out of different stuff. They started making cars out of plastic. Cars are like bumper to bumper, almost bumper to bumper plastic now. Like plastic circuitry. Yeah, there's like the side panels, like the doors are metal. The hood is metal. The trunk is metal. But like your bumpers are plastic. The frame is metal, but there's so much circuitry in your car now.
Yeah.
Like your dashboard, the seat, how the seats sit in, it's like a bunch of it is plastic. It's like
that's what made me say, all right, we can find something else, but is that something else sustainable? All right. There's other resources that we're saying, okay, technology will come up with something, but that's something that they come up with. Is it better than what we had before? Is it cleaner than what we had before? Is it going to cause more problems than, because plastic didn't exist like 100 years ago. Right. And now it's the biggest problem in terms of, I mean, it does have the benefits of, keeping things secure and clean and separate spaces and all those good things. There's light, there's so much of it, but you can't get rid of it. That's the problem. All right. Hold on. Yeah.
Reusable bottles.
Yeah, these bottles, look at this. I'm holding water here with this, PET, polyethylene. Like they did their thing, and it's super light, but we can't get rid of it. All right. and we really need to consider that and invest in the sciences and the technology in order to make these, you know, those leaps in innovation and keep things going. All right. Because just saying that, all right, well, we're going to find something else, so just keep going as is, that's not going to work. It's not going to work. It ain't work with oil, electricity. Now you can see the limit. All right. And you know, everybody doesn't want to switch over to nuclear for this reason and another. If there's an accident, we have a big problem.
Yeah, the fallout is serious with nuclear power. That's like let it be too warm one time, and then like a certain part of the factory is going to have to shut down. You're going to still want the same output from 90% of the factory, but you're not going to be able to do it. So then what's going to happen? Just like if you have a rope and one strand breaks, the succession of breaking is closer together. So it's like one strand breaks, it's a reaction. That's just how it happens. So for us to be dependent upon these finite resources, I mean, besides the sun and wind, like to actually harness those, like back in the day, like a mill, because today, you know, the windmills that we have, they still use a lot of crude oil for lubrication, and, you know, solar power has a lot of plastics and glass that needs to go into it to make the panels. I mean, even rechargeable batteries alone, how much cadmium, nickel, cobalt have to be mined? Your phone is worth so much that there are now buyback programs, because they know that taking your phone and giving you a $100 discount is way cheaper than going out and finding new cobalt, new cadmium, new nickel, new gold to make your phone.
Yeah. And the thing is, folks don't know that, you know, like it felt like that was the most important thing from this chapter, because they were explaining like how, for example, tin or aluminum itself, right, was more expensive than gold for a minute. And then they found that like you can make the aluminum just by a combination of XYZ, and they mentioned a whole XYZ, and it's mad long, like these different chemicals that you got to line up in order to get there. But I mean, folks don't know that, and it's not that folks don't know that. I feel like my folks don't know that, or maybe we do. Maybe we do. But if we did, then, you know, like I think the people that I grew up around would have been more into the sciences. You know, I would have had more engineers around me. I know it's an awful lot of engineers just dumping into Japan from India, you know, Southeast Asia, all these countries. You don't see them dumping in from the US. And I feel like our science programs in K through 12 are weak. University and higher, great, but that's because we got the brain drain. We taking, you know, immigrants from other countries that have a better education program for the young people, and we'll use them in college and then plug them into you know, great 6-figure, 7-figure job, after graduation. Or, you know, some other country will do the same, because, you know, national security, holding down your country's resources and finding more resources for your country is like that's a serious priority for the U.S. government. You know, and for governments around the world.
I got two things, right?
Go ahead.
So for anybody listening, if you can get your child into a magnet school, that's like the best thing that you can do, because there is a heavy emphasis in STEM learning, you know, technology.
STEM. Drop the STEM.
I know that one. STEM, oh my goodness. What is it? It's science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Science,
technology, engineering,
mathematics.
I think they're including architecture now and mathematics, because you see some that are from changing from STEM to STEAM.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's saying and mathematics, or if they're including architecture, mathematics.
Architecture. Yeah. Okay.
So I will say that the hands-on learning that I got in a magnet school was excellent. Like, we had take-apart labs where we'd take computer junk or just old technology.
Yeah.
They give us a screwdriver and be like, take it apart. see what's
Go to
inside of
work.
it. Yeah,
Hey.
just
In school?
in school.
That's what I did
We
with my
used to
first computer.
live. What? You're playing
That
games.
first computer that I had, that Windows 98,
Yeah.
Dell 233. All right, 233
Please.
megahertz on that bad boy. I dropped the Voodoo card in there. All right.
Oh no.
Yeah. I put the
That's
graphics card
serious.
in, but I took it apart in order to find out what was inside. Oh, this is a universal bus drive, right? Or universal serial bus. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like find out. Okay, this is the power cable. This goes here. This is where the motherboard is. All right. Oh, this is nice. You know, because you don't want to just like be using stuff and not know how it works. I think that's a guy thing. Is that a guy?
I mean,
you
I like
drive
to
around
take
in
things
a car,
apart.
you don't know how to fix it.
But I don't know if I can put it together again. That's
Well, yeah. I mean, sometimes if it doesn't quite work. No, that happened with me last night. That happened last night. It wasn't today. Recently, I got a coffee grinder, right? A little coffee mill.
Okay.
And it's got the screws on top, and then like another set of screws and a washer, and then this little piece that you got to turn. And if you make that too tight, then you get really like large grain coffee, like after you grind it down. No. If you have it too loose, then it's very coarse. If you have it too fine, then the powder, it makes the coffee powder like too fine, So you got to find just the right spot for it. And I've grinded that every morning this week. Going back to the wheels of industry and coffee, right? But I grinded that every day this week, and it's just been great. Just waking up, the sun is coming up at 4:30 in the morning in Japan.
Oh, you're playing games.
That's what I'm saying. It's this week we had the longest day of the year, summer solstice, right?
Oh,
and,
yeah.
I've been waking up mad early, and if you understand what I'm talking about, go ahead and hit that not the subscribe button, but a like. All right, waking up early, getting it in early, and just making my coffee, just grinding down the beans, and I put it on in the coffee machine, and it takes 2-3 minutes. You get it, and I take a sip out of my Connecticut cup.
Connecticut. Okay. I see you. CT.
Yeah.
CT, we out here. CT.
Oh. Is that the right direction? Yeah. So, what I would say then, in terms of just understanding how technology works, having to be part of you. I mentioned it before on your channel, and I have to say it again. Because I didn't have a strong science base when I was a kid. I was good at math, but I didn't have I wasn't deep on the sciences, and I didn't take enough maths, as they do it plural in the UK.
The maths.
That's what they do in Australia, right? But I was fascinated, and as you get older, man, I wish I would have studied that more. You know what? You can now with something like Brilliant. Brilliant. Did you look into it?
Yo, you over here giving commercials. We ain't getting paid for not a thing.
No, I'm saying, no. I'm gonna put a hashtag on it because look, all right, we talked about it, and I've recommended it. If you use Brilliant, what you can do, and I do it on my phone, you can play these little science games and math games. You can work the STEM on your phone, and it's very visual. Okay. Like this week, I did pulleys. Let's learn how pulleys work. Like you got, like balanced weights on both sides of the pulley. I didn't know that. I'm thinking about that. So if you have another pulley right here, then that's like half the weight on that side. And then how many pulleys do you need to lift a 100-kilo thing? With a 10 kilo weight at the far end? It's so much fun, yo.
Jeez.
So my question is, what did you do with the STEM? Because you guys, you mentioned the magnet program. What did you do with the STEM? And what would you like to do with the STEM going forward? Because that's what's going to keep the wheels turning.
The thing about it is that I really got into technology back then. But when I got into high school, I got really into chemistry. Like I passed chemistry, high school chemistry, A's across the board. Right. So it was kind of upsetting because I wasn't a senior when I took chemistry. If I was a senior, then I wouldn't have had to take the exam, like the final. Because if you have A's all across, then it's just like, well, we're not going to mess you up. You're good. You put in the work.
You're not going to mess you up. Go ahead.
What I've been thinking about is getting into like fixing phones and computers because I do see a lot of people, like a lot of YouTubers doing it. And this
Hmm.
one YouTuber that I follow, he says that the reason he does it is because first off, it's cheaper
Hmm.
for people to come to him than to go to Apple to fix their phones or to go to Samsung to fix their phones.
Mm.
And it helps keep waste, like tech waste, out of,
Uh-huh.
dumps, which this stuff is not biodegradable. It'll just sit there,
Ah, okay,
you
okay. So the
know?
fact that he's fixing stuff helps him to do his part in terms of keeping things sustainable, not reusing it, but refurbishing it.
Hmm.
Not just letting these guys throw it away or okay, okay. So you thinking
Yeah.
to do
And I've
something
been
like
thinking,
doing something like that on YouTube, like showing
well,
people
not
this is how you
not
fix it,
necessarily
and
on YouTube.
uh-huh.
I mean, I could probably go that route, but I'm just trying to say it might be a way to make a little extra money on the side,
Hmm.
kind of engage that portion of your brain to be like,
Hmm.
okay, I know I can take this thing apart, see what's wrong with it, clean it out, dust
Hmm.
it out. Um, the only thing that's really stopping me is soldering. And my
Soldering.
mom never taught me how to solder. So I'm thinking like, dang, what do I have to do?
Uh-huh.
Like, cause you have to get the actual soldering iron and you
You
have to
got to
get a
get a soldering
quality
iron.
one
Uh-huh.
so that it gets hot enough so that you don't
Mm.
have cold solders. Because if you have cold solders, then the current isn't going to run through it properly.
Uh.
And then you have to get desoldering stuff so that you can use the soldering iron and it'll
Mm.
actually help to pick up whatever you're trying to pick up. Or you can use like isopropyl alcohol or there's some other stuff that you can use to take the stuff up.
Mm.
But I do want to look into getting a soldering iron, but it's that cost of entry type thing,
Mm.
Am I
Well,
willing to invest in myself to
yeah,
get,
yeah.
that payout? And that's
Well,
where I am right now.
I mean, if you're looking to make the connection, you could get a fresh soldering iron, or
Mm.
I know some like this one way to connect those types of things. The best connection that I know, and this is just going back to the beginning, is that water pulse laser. All right,
Oh.
that makes the connection. He makes the connection. All right, bam. Shout out to one of our best listeners. Nah,
Yo,
man,
for real,
he's
for
making
real.
the connection. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's interesting. Like there's a few people who have channels like that that I've followed. I think I was playing Arceus with you or somebody as I was watching this dude's channel, and it was explaining how to do things. Like, I mean, YouTube is one of the best educators. Just a place to just go
Oh
in and
yeah.
say, all right, how to. But it was a cat that was really showing how to do stuff. And it wasn't no links to say, okay, go to my main channel if you really want to find out how to do it. No, he's
Hmm.
explaining exactly how to do things, how to work, machinery that's around you in such a way that you can make it more sustainable and you can, do your part.
Okay.
So, yeah, yeah. No, I definitely think that's something worth looking into. I know our listeners probably think similar things like what can I do, what kind of education did I have early on, that I can make more of a contribution now, what kind of knowledge can I share with other people.
Mm.
Hey, turn on that camera, but before you turn on the camera, go up there, get yourself a pen, a pad, and just write it down.
Down. Write it
All right, write
down.
it down, get it out on paper first, and see that's what it is. It's your boy
Yeah, man.
TPC Japan telling you that that's what it is. It's been episode 29. We've talked about the wheels of industry, but get those wheels turning, those gears going, and
Oh yeah.
just understand that now we actually created in the image of God. All right, that's the
In
greatest creator.
the image of
So
God. Yes.
if you want to get that connection back to just creation, all right, and start creating things, start making things that are helping other people, and just get your output out there. Nah,
Yeah.
man. Then make that call. He's always waiting. It's your boy
Hey.
TPC Japan telling you that's what it is. Go ahead, Ace, finish that up.
like you said, make that connection. So you got to stay prayed up. And if you stay prayed up, you'll be blessed.